Russ, thank you very much. Yes, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs today and then a focus on the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow. And the early edge invasion continues here in Phoenix, Arizona. Glad to be alongside once again the coach, Jonathan Coachman, and the maestro, Larry Hartstein. Guys, we had some developments before we get into props here, which includes the team total for Kansas City, because we saw a big bet go to the over. We're now sitting at 51. So Kansas City's team total had been sitting 24.5. It's now 25.5. You guys are on opposite ends. Maestro, start with you first.
Yeah, that big bet, $270,000 at CBS Sports on the over, pushed it up to 51. 24.5, I'll go under. 25.5, I'll happily go under with the Chiefs. They're going to have to matriculate the ball because Jonathan Gannon is going to play back. Third fewest explosive plays allowed by this Eagles defense. We saw the graphic. Mahomes can be erratic a little bit in the Super Bowl with 4 interceptions going up a very opportunistic Eagles defense that's fully healthy. Last week, the first time they've been fully healthy since late November.
Coach, you're on the other side.
Well, here's the deal. If you're going to compare defenses this year, the Eagles only have one comparison. That's the San Francisco 49ers. And what happened against the San Francisco 49ers that the Chiefs did? Well, Brandon Ayuk said if I had every dime that I had, I would sell my house and I'd bet it on the Kansas City Chiefs because they scored 44 points against that same 49ers defense. They're going to come out. We just heard Patrick Mahomes talk about his experience in the Super Bowl. That's a big, big deal. He's not going to come out and be nervous anymore. 24.5, 25.5, it doesn't matter because you rarely have a score land on 25. I'll still gladly take the over. I've been saying all week the Chiefs score at least 27 and they win by 5 or 6 points.
And it's no surprise, folks, if you're joining us yesterday, these guys on opposite ends of the spread, Kansas City and Philadelphia, that certainly plays into that Kansas City team total. If I were to ask you the outcome of Kansas City's first drive, Coach, what would that be?
Well, I just talked about nerves, right? Well, they do have a tendency to start very, very slowly. And whether it's nerves or whatever, I don't know. But I'm going to go with punt, minus 118. I don't think they're going to score. I don't think they're going to even have a long drive. I think it's going to be quick. We've seen that a lot in the postseason, too. Very quick drives to start the games. Then they settle in. I'll go punt, minus 118.
And then you're going with something different there, Larry.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me, Coach, going with the safe play, the easy minus odds.
Wow.
I'm going turnover plus 550. We talked about the 4 interceptions that Mahomes has thrown in the Super Bowl and how the Eagles were leading the NFL in takeaways when they had their full defense, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But how about this? If Andy Reid goes for it on 4th down on the first drive and they don't get it, that will qualify as a turnover in the CBS Sports prop, although it will not go down as a turnover in the stat sheet.
Okay, so you have to make sure to read the language then if you're at your book to cash what you're talking about in terms of a turnover in that type of scenario, Larry?
Yeah, 4th down conversions in that first drive prop are going to be considered turnovers.
Tran, he's trying to make it so if something hits, he can scream from the rooftops that it's plus 500. I'll give you 4-1 that doesn't happen on the first drive right here live on the show. Taking it or leaving it?
It's plus 550, Coach.
I'll give you 5-1.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
there you go. A showdown right here on your show.
Yeah, that's just a part of what you guys do on the Early Edge podcast on YouTube. We're doing it live here at the Super Bowl. All right, so that is going to be a pretty good prop to look out for. Let's get to player props now. We're going to go over and under. We'll start with the over. And, Coach, you got the same player here. Over. Let's go Isaiah Pacheco first.
So Isaiah Pacheco, he runs the ball when it's in his hands like it's the last time on earth that he's ever going to have the football. And so I'm going to go longest reception over 11.5 yards. If he gets dumped off like we believe they're going to do, I believe they're going to pass a lot. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a lot of attempts and completions. But Pacheco, all he needs to do is get one catch, 12 yards, and that's easy to do. Chalk it up. I love that play.
Maybe get a little bit of yak here. And then Maestro going with Mahomes here, 38.5 passing attempts Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going over. They threw 43 times last week. They were tied or ahead the whole game. They lead the NFL in neutral game pass rate. Andy Reid loves to throw, and why not? Patrick Mahomes, 42 passes and 49 passes in his last 2 Super Bowls. And if you look at his last 7 playoff games where he did not get hurt, I'm talking about the concussion or the ankle injury, at least 38 passes in all of those.
Okay, so that is the overplay there. Now we're asking these guys about the under, and I mentioned you're going Pacheco over, but you're also going Pacheco under.
Did you just hear one of the numbers that Maestro used? 42. Why does that matter? Because in the last game, the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs had 20 carries for 42 yards as a team. So I'm looking at Pacheco. His prop is under 48.5. That's the lock of the century. They're just not going to run it enough for him to get this much. So let's fade him on the ground and then take him in the air.
It'll be interesting.
All right, let's recap the picks from out in Phoenix. Coach and Larry disagree on the Chiefs and the total. Coach is going with an Isaiah Pacheco prop for both the over and an under, and they both like Travis Kelce as an anytime touchdown prop. Larry threw in Jody Fortson just for fun.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.